Joining me now, Washington insider Scott Jackson, the host of the team's post-game show. He joins us again this week on the Huddle. You know, Scott, finally it seems the Washington defense has lived up to its hype. They annihilated Carson Wentz. They will probably have to chase Kyle Murray around all over the field, but for now it seems they're going to have to control the game until the offense gets on track.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, where would that team have been last week if the defense doesn't come up with the big plays? The 3 takeaways were huge. They gave the offense short fields. The offense obviously took advantage of that, but it was the defense that really changed the tide of that game. That interception by Moreau was really the game changer, and the ability to take advantage of a down Philadelphia offensive line, Bruce. Let's not forget Philadelphia was missing a lot of parts and also missing their starting running back. And the Washington defense really took it to them. That defensive line with Chase Young now in there, that young energy he brought, and you saw Ryan Kerrigan still got plenty left in the tank too. So it was a really good week for the defense. And you're right, they're probably going to have to continue to carry this team along until the offense starts clicking better.
Now, it's obvious that offensive coach Scott Turner is calling a lot of safe plays for quarterback Dwayne Haskins, who didn't put the ball in harm's way, but he just always seems to throw behind his receivers, although as a quarterback, he did just enough to win, and I guess that's all that matters in the NFL nowadays.
Yeah, look, they didn't have to drive the ball a long way. They had the 3 short touchdown drives, obviously. The field goal as well. They were perfect in the red zone. The only time they didn't catch in the red zone, they took a knee to turn it over on downs late in the game. So look, they were very opportunistic. I thought, despite them not really ever getting in a great rhythm, they got in enough of a rhythm in the football game to do some good things. They didn't really have much of a running game, which I think made it tough on Dwayne and that offensive line. I think that offensive line this week's going to have to get some more going with that running game. Otherwise, I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble because they just don't have the kind of offense that can air it out 50 times a game and feel good about themselves. It's not going to happen.
I kept thinking to myself as I watched the game, boy, I wish we had Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I don't know if you need AP because he's not really that dual threat, but yeah, look, they kind of needed somebody to be the bell cow. They want Antonio Gibson to be that guy, but he's just not there yet. I mean, he's a young kid. He didn't really have much room to run. He did have the one big 20-yard run. Barber was really good in the tight situations and the goal line situations and in the short yardage, but they didn't get much out of McKissick. It's still very much a running game that is a work in progress. And eventually they hope that Bryce Love out there too, and he's obviously not ready to play yet.
What's refreshing about tonight is that unlike last year, we have some positive things to talk about, at least for 1 week. No turnovers, no penalties by the offense. Boy, was that refreshing. And it looks like this team is a lot more organized and disciplined than they have been the past few years.
Again, not to belabor a point, but this is a much better coaching staff. It's a much better head coach. It's obvious he's a real leader. You can see that about them, the way they, as you said, discipline was a big thing. There wasn't false starts. There wasn't jumping offside, things like that. But they did have, they did have a couple offsides on offense or on defense, excuse me. Offense, they didn't have the legal procedures, which was good. They got it in and out of the huddle quick enough. And then defensively, they had a couple, personal fouls. I think they'll live with those. They don't love them, but they'll live with them. And overall, it was a pretty clean game. And the special teams were really solid too. So I think overall, they're happy with that. And, they'll pick on the mistakes this week and get better for it moving forward.
And the Washington football team is a 6.5-point underdog at Arizona Sunday. That's a 4 o'clock game. One team that beat the Eagles, one team that beat the 49ers, but even at quarterback, come on, Scott, the Cardinals have the edge on experience.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, you saw him last week he's such a dual threat stud in college, and you're seeing it in the NFL in his, year and now 1 game, and he was really good last week against that very tough 49er defense. Now you put DeAndre Hopkins on the outside there, a really good combination. Kenyon Drake's a good running back behind him. I think Murray threw the ball over 40 times, and I believe it was 18 targets to Hopkins. So he's already figured out who the number 1 guy is. And, they got into a heck of a rhythm together, in just 1 week. So that's the big challenge for Washington this week. And chasing him around, he's not like Carson Wentz. I mean, he's not going to, wiggle his way out of a sack due to sheer muscle. He'll just make him miss. And that's going to be the challenge for them this week. And I'll be interested to see if they spy on him and try to have somebody following him around the field to kind of take away that dual threat ability.
And a lot of pressure on the Washington defense now, so they're really going to have to be up for the task.
Yeah, and look, they looked the part week one, but like I said, Philadelphia was down a little bit. They got to kind of get past all that and just keep adding each week. And I think this group's pretty hungry, and I think they want to show people that this is going to be a better football team than anybody thought going into the season. And even with this win last week, I didn't get the sense this was a satisfied team this week, but we'll find out on Sunday if they come out and put in another good performance.
All right, thanks, Scott. We'll see you back here next week. Enjoy the game.
All right, thank you, Bruce. See you next week.